our peculiar modern belief in the transformative powers of celebrity. We do this, don't we? We go through our lives thinking, well, here I am, just little old me, going through my life, trying to get by, trying to get through it, trying to gain a little bit of respect by the people whose opinions seem to be like they should be important to me, like my parents, for instance, or parents, friends, fellow citizens of your neighborhood and your town. We want to gain people's respect and admiration. And most of us have some reasons or others to feel a little bit timid, cautious about whether we really can be confident that we have, or that we have earned, or that we can hold on to respect and admiration from those around us. And many of us, perhaps most of us, but certainly many of us, have actual specific reasons or incidents or situations in our lives that have eaten away and beaten down our sense of self-worth. And we have people around us who have deliberately, or perhaps unconsciously, unintentionally, but nonetheless effectively eaten away and beaten down our sense of self-worth and sense of being deserving of respect and admiration. And many of us go around daydreaming or fantasizing that maybe somehow some magical change of circumstances might alter this perception of us, and we might regain or gain in the first place a sense of respect and admiration that was never given to us. And many of us daydream about the magical abilities of celebrity to do this, to transform us in this way. And you look at all the people that have become stars, movie stars, rock stars, particularly. And for some people it's sports stars. Even Johnny Weissmuller, who, I don't know if he ever won anything in the Olympics, or even if he competed in the Olympics. I think he did, though. I think he did. He ended up being the most remembered Tarzan actor in the movies, noted for he was considered the most amazingly developed male personage, physically, male physique of his time. And yet Johnny Weissmuller got that way because through being a swimmer, and he started swimming because he was very sick, very weak and sickly when he was 10 years old, and his parents and the doctors were afraid that he was going to die. He was so weak and small, and the doctor prescribed a serious study of swimming, a serious course of training in swimming, just to build up his health so he wouldn't die at the age of 11 or 12. And he did so well in this. He did it with such good advice. He took to it like a fish in water, or like a human in water. And it did wonders. It was, talk about great medical advice. Perfect prescription. This kid that they were afraid was going to die at the age of 10 became the world's most admired physique through his course in swimming. And I believe he did win some Olympic medals, and but I'm not certain about that. And he became Tarzan, one of probably the most exposed semi-nude male body in film at that time. So there was a transformation, Johnny, from sick little Johnny Weissmuller to Tarzan, world champion. And actors, the motion pictures are full of the celebrity actors are full of people that transformed. Many of them, in the first place, transformed their names. So many of the most famous film stars took on screen names, not a computer screen, but an actual wide movie theater screen names. That was the origin of that word, I believe. And so or a lot of the most famous celebrity actors' names were made up names or altered names. Judy Garland, that's a made up name. Doris Day was an altered name. Kirk Douglas, made up. Tony Curtis, made up. Not sure about Rock Hudson. Tony Randall was a made up name. Jack Lemmon was an altered name. So many of them were just screen names, and that's just the beginning. But that's the beginning of the transformation of the persona that we think can happen in a career as an actor. And it can change, seem to a change of fortunes. You grew up somewhere, some little small town that's seemingly in the middle of nowhere, seemingly no great opportunities and no particular recognition, and then eventually somehow you end up in Hollywood. It's a whole different world, and you're starring in motion pictures, and you're making millions of dollars. You're making more money from your motion pictures than everyone in your little town that you came from, where you grew up with a slightly more funny or mundane sounding name than the one that you're known internationally as, known by millions. The name you grew up being known to hundreds is not the name you're known by to millions. Which is, millions is how much money you make, more than everybody in your little town put together sometimes. And you're out there in California living the good life. But the question is, how much are you, even there in your little fantasy transformation world out in California, how much may you still be haunted by the ghosts of your own personal past? Haunted by, how much was Judy Garland haunted by the ghost of Francis Gum? So that's our belief in magical transformations. And the same thing happens with rock stars, of course. You're nobody. You're a girl. You're somebody that the girls snicker at and turn down, and then you pick up a guitar, you put on contact lenses, get a different hairstyle, a different set of clothes, and suddenly you're Mr. Cool. And maybe you get yourself a fakey type name too, but in any case you get a band and your band's got a cool name and all this. You get a manager, and you wonder if that's going to bury the ghost of your seemingly pathetic adolescence. You wonder if you actually will be transformed and become what you present or what you are presented to the world as being, Mr. Rockstar person, when somewhere deep inside of you, you remember you're just little old geeky you that the girls used to snicker at. So that's it. That's all. The thing is that we as a society have this magical attitude. We have this attitude of celebrity, and of course mass media helps greatly. The fact that we have recorded sound and the recorded film helps millions and hundreds of millions of people see you and seem to know you, when ordinary life in an ordinary world without motion picture and sound recording, the most that might ever get to see and hear you would be thousands. By performing on a live stage, and that would be it. We as a society have this belief in the ability to transform our identities, the ability to be Tony Curtis when you grew up as Manny Schwartz. Can you ever bury the ghost of Manny Schwartz under the monument of Tony Curtis? It's kind of a yes and a kind of a no.